Hi there. Today we'll be exploring Canonic's workflows. Canonic's the fastest way to build internal tools. You can add your own data sources, build complex workflows integrating with different services, as well as build out the entire front end, all on Canonic. Today we'd be exploring how to build internal tools and build automations using our workflows feature. So let's dive right in. Workflows allow you to streamline and automate your business processes. Canonic's Workflow Builder offers a unique mind map like interface, making it easy and intuitive to use. In the Workflow Builder, you'll find nodes and connectors which represent different steps in your workflow. You can create your desired workflow structure by building your mind map. This visual approach makes it simple and to design workflows without requiring extensive coding knowledge. Let's build a quick workflow to demonstrate some of its features. The first node is a trigger event that initiates your workflows. Whether it's a specific action taken within your system or an external event, you can configure triggers to start your automation process. Let's call this Get Customers from Shopify. We won't be needing any inputs on this one. So let's continue on. Now we want to create an API trigger, and the goal is to get customers from Shopify. So let's create an integration. Integrating with external services and platforms is crucial for businesses today. With Canonic, you can seamlessly connect to APIs, enabling you to leverage the power of other tools and services in your workflow. Whether it's retrieving data from a CRM, sending notifications, or syncing information with a payment gateway, Canonic's API integrations make it possible. So let's select Shopify. And we want to get all customers. So authentication is as simple as entering your private token, and you can generate that on Shopify's portal. You can enter the API key and hit save. I've already done that for this. Within the required field, you would need the shop name for your Shopify store. So let's put that in. Let's name this Get All Customers. And that's it. We're good to go on the Shopify integration. Now, if we want to do additional actions on top of this, we can add a few logic nodes. So conditionals and loops allow you to add steps and decision points within your workflows. You can set conditions to create branching paths based on specific data or user input, or you can loop over data points to perform the same action on multiple items. This allows for flexible and dynamic workflows. Let's add a loop to loop over all the customers. Now the property that we want to loop over is the list of customers being returned by the Get All Customers step over here. So this is the first step, so we just put in 1, and then the output of this is an object with the key customers, so that would be it, and our loop is ready to roll. Now we can add steps within this loop, and let's add a conditional to check if each customer's order count is above a certain threshold. So we want to add a conditional, check orders count. We want to create a branch when order is more than 1 and We want to check data, which corresponds to the single item within the customer, and we want to check the orders count to be greater than 1. We can create a fallback where orders are 0, and the condition could be again data orders count equal to 0. With that, we've created a conditional. Now, what's going to happen so far is we're going to get all the customers from Shopify, loop over each of the customers, and check the order count for each of the customers, whether it's greater than 1 or if it's 0. So if it's greater than 1, what we can do is simply send an email, for example. So let's say we select Mailgun and we go send an email. Again, for authentication, you can use Mailgun's private API key, and the user defaults to API. For required fields, we have a domain setup. Again, these credentials you can get from Mailgun itself. The from field could be hello world, and the customer could be again. So now we want to access the parent data. So now we're inside the conditional. So in order to access the data item inside the loop, we would need to access parent and then data and then email. Subject could be hi, here's an offer for you. This is a test. So that would be it. Now, so far we've created a workflow where we're going through all the customers in our Shopify store, looping over them, checking if their order count is greater than 1, and then sending them an email. So now let's say we want to add some sort of output to this API, right? Since it's a simple REST API that you can trigger, we want to output certain data and who we've sent the email to. So data manipulation is a critical aspect of workflows, right? Canonic provides both powerful tools for transforming and manipulating this data. And you can extract specific information, perform calculations, format data, or combine multiple data sources to generate meaningful outputs. Let's set the API output to only the list of customer emails to whom the email was sent. We can do that by using the output node. So let's create an output node. Create a key send. So I have this. And basically we want to return the ID. Now when the customer order count is not, then we just return false. So let's create another output node. Let's set it to send. And return false instead. Now I'm just going to delete the Mailgun so that we can test the entire workflow. Let me just create another output. So here basically what we've outputted here is going to be an array because we're looping over all the customers, and for each customer we're setting an output to either false or the ID of the customer. Now the output of this entire loop becomes an array, and then we want to use that array and generate a final output. So for that we have created a function where we just filter out all the false values when orders are 0 and just pull out the IDs that are being stored on the output node. So yeah, that should do it. The workflow should fetch all the customers from Shopify, loop over and check if they've placed an order before, and if they have, send them an email. The response for the API is a list of customer IDs that was sent the email. Now this is obviously very hard to just publish or push to production without really testing it out, right? There could be many mistakes that we could have made throughout. So in the world of automation, using the reliability and efficiency of workflows is of paramount importance. Canonic recognizes this need and provides robust workflow testing capabilities to validate your automation processes. Let's explore how we can test this entire workflow and even individual steps if needed. So in order to test, we just go over to this tab over here, and it just opens up this panel on the right side with testing. Now we don't have any inputs needed, otherwise we could have put them in here. This is a simple JSON field. Now let's try running this workflow. Cool, so it didn't work the first time, right? We were able to get all the customers from Shopify. While looping, we can see that there are just null values. The conditional didn't work, so the final output's an empty array. So let's see when we got all the customers. Let's look at it's orders underscore count. Got it. So let's go and edit that in. And we should add the other one as well. Let's test this again. Yep. But we're still getting a few false values. Let's check that out. Okay, so c.sent is false. Can duplicate that. And that's it. These are the people the email would have gone to if the node was present. As you can see, it was quite simple to set up the entire workflow as well as test it out for any errors and fix it rather quickly. So it's really easy. You can even test out individual nodes. So if I go on to get all customers, head on to the test tab over here. The input is automatically pre-filled based on the previous node if you've tested out the entire workflow. So that gives you a good starting point, especially when there's a lot of data flowing through. And you can run the workflow. And as you can see, this is like an individual output from this node. Similarly, I can head on over to the loop field. You can see the inputs already pre-filled with what we got from the previous node. We run the workflow and you can see we're getting accurate outputs over here as well. So yeah, that was a quick introduction to all workflows. As you can see, it's really easy to build them out. It's exactly how a mind map would work. We created complex loops, conditionals, outputs. We connected to a different service, two different services, and yeah. And that wraps up our overview of Canonic's workflow features. We've explored the powerful capabilities of API integrations, conditionals and loops, and data manipulation. And we've also touched on how easy it is to use the builder. It's as intuitive as a mind map. If you're intrigued by what you've seen, I encourage you to explore Canonic further and sign up for a trial or request a demo. Canonic can automate and streamline your business processes with great efficiency. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or need support, feel free to reach out to our email or join our Discord channel. Stay tuned for more exciting content from Canonic. Thank you.